Welcome to Between Two Coaches, a digital mentors podcast for coaches, consultants, authors, speakers, and experts. I am your host, Norbert Orlowitz, and in each episode, we have a conversation with successful and emerging thought leaders in the mentoring industry to share their experiences, insights, and practical strategies to make a bigger impact with our work. Now, this podcast is sponsored by our Digital Mentors Compass workshop. Most coaches, unfortunately, struggle to enroll enough clients consistently, not because they're bad at coaching, but simply because they lack clarity and simplicity in their marketing strategy. Simply put, they don't know how to stand out in their market and attract their ideal perfect clients. That's why we created the Digital Mentors Compass Experience. It's a step-by-step workshop where you will clarify your marketing message and receive an AI-powered 30-plus page marketing report personalized for your specific business and goals. It's not another course or a cookie cutter system. It's an interactive workshop where you'll walk away with a personalized roadmap to finally achieve your goals with a simple plan you can actually follow. Register to attend the next workshop for free at compassworkshop.com. Again, that is compassworkshop.com. Today's guest on this show is Angel Alvaro, and I am so excited to bring her here for you because you're going to love this story. You're going to be blown away by her results and what she has to share with you today. Angel helps spiritual entrepreneurs attract clients and achieve financial abundance by clearing money blocks, healing money shame, and releasing trauma. Born from a long lineage of powerful healers and shamans, energy healing flows through her veins. Through her unique approach, Angel helps clients worthy and deserving of their dreams navigate and release their deepest traumas and limiting beliefs, clearing their money blocks, healing their shame and guilt around charging money for their services that prevents them from living a life of abundance. Angel, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much, Norbert. It's an honor to be here and share what I learned along the way in my healing journey and in helping entrepreneurs. I'd say it's about 10, 11 years now.
Yeah, Angel, we go back some time because we were actually together. You followed us and worked with us. The best memory I have of you, obviously, is that retreat that we had in 2011 together.
Mhm.
And that was at the beginning of your journey. And this is where we got to start this journey because you've made some incredible results in this time. I mean, you were telling me the last few years you've been making a really nice, six-figure income as a spiritual healer. Just with the last couple of months working with you, now that you're back since your health emergency that you've kind of had to deal with, your health issue, you've been back and you just had one of your best months. I think somewhere around $40,000 or $50,000 in the
Yeah,
past month. Yeah.
yeah,
And so I'm so excited for you to share your story here because this is for all those coaches out there who think that they can't make a lot of money with life coaching or spiritual coaching or whatever weird stories you might have in your hand. Angel is here to prove to you that all of that is false beliefs. Angel does not spend money on paid advertising. Angel does not have a large social media following. You can go follow her and you will check it out. She's got very small followings. And yet she's consistently been making a six-figure income. And your best month was around $90,000 in income. You actually did that in 2 weeks. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So I really need you guys to pay attention to this interview. Stay through this whole thing because we're going to be diving deep into Angel's transformation and journey to get her to this point. So coaching is all about transformation. Obviously, we're here as coaches to help people transform their lives and get results. You have gone through an incredible transformation yourself. So let's go back because we have to talk about this journey. Okay. We started working together way back in 2011.
mhm.
And why don't we start there? Why don't we start what it was like for you in 2011? Because you said that after working with us, you all of a sudden disappeared, and there was something that you had to face there. So let's talk about that initial transformation. What was going on for you back in 2011 at that retreat?
Yeah. So in 2011, when I attended that mastermind, first of all, that was the scariest decision I had to do. I remember using two credit cards to pay for that mastermind, and I didn't tell my husband. I told him after I signed up. Um, I'm sure some of you did that, right? Like because my mindset at that time is I'm either all in or I'm not, you know. So I'm all in with just about everything that I was doing back then, ever since 2010 actually, but 2011, 2012, that's when I started attending all of the live events Norbert and his colleagues like Brian James are hosting. And the mastermind that we had, one of the things that we did there is put together my product offer so that it's ready for launching. I'm just gonna go home and put it in the sales page. The sales page is actually already we already started it already. You just have to refine it a little bit more, you know. I bought the Yeti microphone, I bought all of the things I needed so that I can record professional videos for that launch. And I remember before going home that all of these industry leaders, including you, Norbert, told me that you are all going to help me and promote my product launch to your mailing list. I was excited at that time, but guess what? When I went home, I disappeared. Nowhere to be found. I remember one of the leaders, I think it was Ray Higdon, he said, "What happened to you? Where did you go?" He sent me a message. And I saw the message, but I never responded back. I
Wow.
really disappeared. 2011, 2012. And in 2013, there's something that I joined. I'm like, maybe I can get back with this. Still not. There's just so much overwhelm. There's frustration, desperation because I want to make money. The reason I went online and do all these things is to be able to bring income so I can help my husband. Because one income in Canada, let's face it, is not enough, right? That's why I stayed home to take care of my kids. And as a stay at home mom, what can I do to bring in income, right? So, fast forward to 2015, I realized that we had to file for bankruptcy or consumer proposal here in Canada. And guess what? I ended up accumulating six-figure credit card debts because of all of the things that I had been doing. I was all in, I told you.
And so at this point, you were still chasing the money.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was.
looking at affiliate marketing, network
Yeah,
marketing, online marketing. You hadn't tapped into your
yeah,
true purpose yet. You were still just looking at ways to make money, and
yeah,
it led you to bankruptcy.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
so what was the realization there at that point?
The
What happened?
realization at that point was, our our back is to the wall. We got no one. I remember telling my husband, maybe we should just pack our bags and go to the Philippines. At least there I can work. My mom can watch the kids. And it's like, no, this is where this happened. This mistake happened. This is where you're going, or we're going to turn it around. And I'm so grateful that he put his foot down and said, we're not leaving Canada. We're going to turn our lives around here. At night, when we figured that out, I was journaling. I was writing a letter to my guardian angels. That's all I knew that I could talk to. We have no relatives here, and my husband is not going to talk to his siblings, and I wouldn't want him to do that. Can you imagine the shame
Yeah.
with that? So, with the embarrassment and everything. I said, you know what, angels? You said you're here to help us, but I don't think you're helping me. Look at the situation we're in. And eventually, I said, if you're really here to help me, I surrender. I'm ready to listen and fall asleep with tears in my face. The next day, I woke up having the realization it's like it's in my face. You're not here to do all of those things you were doing. You're here to be a healer. And I'm like, what? But I said I surrendered and I'm listening at that time. We went to Montreal for this mineral show, and there was this guy in his booth and called me. He's a Russian guy. He said, "May I see your hand, your palms?" I'm like, "Why?" Look at my husband. We are like, "Why?" Well, my husband said, "Well, okay." So I put my hand up, and he said, "Do you know that you're a powerful healer?" I'm like, "Well, I'm studying crystal healing right now. Is that what you mean?" And he said, "No. Ask your parents, your mom. She knows that you're a powerful healer." I asked my mom, it's like, yeah, both of our sides are long lines of healers.
So you didn't know this up until that point?
Well, would I accept that I'm a powerful healer? No way. I know that
But
my
did you
grandfather
did you
was.
know that you had a lineage of healers?
I know my grandfather on my father's side, but I don't know anybody else. I know another relative when I
Hmm.
was growing up, but that's it. I didn't
Okay.
know that it's a long line.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what sparked it. And I said, you know what? I've always been interested in healing anyway, but never saw it as the way to make money. Like, I mean, when I was in Taiwan, I have a coworker who was crying in pain. And I didn't know what I did, but I just said, can I touch your head? Apparently, I touched her head. I don't know what I did, but apparently the headache never came back. And so it started from there where people would come to me and it's like, can you touch me here and do that? And people started giving me money for it. But I wasn't charging for this. I wasn't thinking about anything.
Now, this brings up this whole issue about charging for healing,
Mm-hmm.
charging for coaching, for
Yeah.
life coaching, in a sense.
Yeah.
When you can do good in the world, many of us hold this belief that we shouldn't charge for the good things that we do. And for some reason, like this healing that you're talking about, you if I have a gift to heal people, it's wrong of me to charge people for
Yeah.
it, which is which is silly, because the first thing that I think of is, well, in Western culture, when we think about getting sick and being healed, we go to a doctor.
Yeah.
And who are the highest paid employee, like, profession in our Western society? Like, doctors are highly paid.
Yeah.
So why do we think that any other type of healing we shouldn't be charged? Where do you think all of this comes from, where we don't feel like we can charge for the good that we do for the world?
I feel like that started way back with the ancestors, because even with my ancestors, my grandfather has that belief that as a healer, he is not supposed to charge for healing. And so that's why for me, being a healer means dirt poor. So why would I want to be a healer? I came from the Philippines. I immigrated here to Canada to join my husband. And so growing up in poverty, and I was told that I will never amount to anything, to now, being here in Canada. Before Canada, I was in Taiwan, in Italy, in Cyprus. I was everywhere. And I was able to do all of these things that people said I wasn't able to do because I was poor. And so to be a healer and to be poor again, like literally dirt poor, because that's how it was in the Philippines. We're sleeping in the dirt. There's just like a mat or a blanket on top of that. So in my mind, like, no way. I'll do online marketing, I'll do online coaching, network marketing, whatever. But all of those things never worked for me. So yeah, I feel like it goes way, way back. And that is I feel like I'm gonna go even deeper with this if I have to say, but it's really just it goes way back with our ancestors, where energy healing or healing from shamans, you're not supposed to get paid. And when you go online, you it's amazing. It's so painful to read the comments of people. It's like, if you truly are a healer, then why don't you do it for free? There's so many people suffering, and these are the comments that you hear. And so I understand why so many healers out there are scared of showing up. I was scared in the beginning because I'm like, what would people say, especially family and friends? It's like, who the heck are you to
Mm.
say that? Who the heck are you to show up and say that you're a shaman, that you're a healer?
That there was a thing that you mentioned as we were talking before this interview, when you disappeared in 2011 after that retreat,
Hmm.
where we were all ready to promote your stuff, and you disappeared, and you said it wasn't a fear of success and it wasn't a fear of failure.
Yeah.
It was something else. What was it?
It was fear of being seen.
Ah.
Fear of being seen and being heard, especially for someone like me who was never seen and never heard. I grew up in abusive environment, always told not good enough, and you cannot say anything. You say something and you get in trouble. You're basically invisible. So for me, this journey is like, really, I'm going to go out there, forget it, as a healer. Yeah. So being seen, it's not about fear of success or failure. And Majority of my clients I've worked with over the years, it's the same thing. It's they thought it's fear of success or fear of failure. Soon as we work on about that fear of being seen and being heard, they start making money.
What is that deep fear? What is that rooted in? That fear of being seen, that fear of obviously being criticized, that fear of what is that fear? What have you discovered?
So what I've seen through my work and my own healing journey, fear of being seen is ancestral. It's generational. It's something that you can trace all the way back up to 10, 30 generations back. And so with my work, when I do healing, I'll be I will be shown how long this ancestral vow is. We all are familiar with a vow. When you get married, you have a vow. You exchange vows with your partner, right? A vow is binding. And so ancestral vow, because it is passed on to us by our ancestors. And I've talked to spirits and I was shown that fear of being seen or ancestral vow being seen is that basically you're invisible. How that shows up in our life is, you were told you're going to be promoted, and then eventually you get passed on for somebody else. In your family, it's as if you're never there. You're not being paid attention to. They don't pay attention to what you're saying, to what you're doing. In school, it's like you're raising hands, but teacher somehow calls somebody else all the time. It's Those are one of the things that says you have vow of invisibility or fear of being seen or ancestral vow of being seen. Remove, people have no fear of showing up anymore. And that's very true for me also. When I disappeared in 2011, I could never figure out why can't I go back? Like, I mean, I have that desire. I need to go back. I must go back, you know? So it's not just about determination. And when I finally figured that out during that spiritual healing journey, that's what it is. It's something invisible that you cannot put your finger to it. You know, there's something in the way. But what is it?
Mm.
You've done everything. In my case, I've done everything. I racked up six-figure credit card debts. I signed up for high-end coaching. I think it was like $15,000 at that time. There's even a program I signed up for 20K. What did I get out of it? Nothing, because there's something in my energy that is preventing me to be seen or for me to show up. There's just that fear. If you show up, it's not safe for you. And we go into our physical body. That's the nervous system regulation, the fight, flight, the freeze, the fawn
Mhm.
response. So for me, I would go in all of those responses: fight or flight, or freeze, or fawn. And freeze, that's when I disappeared. So that's a freeze response with the nervous system, if we're talking nervous system. So when I did all of the healing, I'm doing all of this work with clients, they're getting results. And then, of course, we know that we can only take our clients to the extent that we are healed and to the extent of the work that we've done for ourselves. So it came to that point. I think that's around 2022 when I was like, okay, I know I'm ready for more than six figures annually, but for some reason I couldn't just break through. It would go 150, 170, but it's never over that. What is that? My nervous system thinks that it's not safe to go over that. Being like born in poverty in the Philippines, and I've seen my parents being scammed, being betrayed by so many people for money. We're poor and they get betrayed for money. How much more now that, here in Canada? That's what my nervous system thinks. That's what my subconscious mind is saying. It's not safe to have all of that money.
Wow. It's so deeply profound and mysterious because I'm such a logical person. Like that is my natural being is logic.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult for me to comprehend all of this because I'm always looking for the logical answer. I'm always looking to understand and have something make sense. And none of this makes sense to me, right?
Mhm.
And I think this is the problem that so many coaches and entrepreneurs deal with. When we think about, why do entrepreneurs struggle? Why do coaches struggle to hit their income goals, to create the financial abundance that they desire so much? And, we're constantly searching for marketing solutions, for strategy solutions, for systems, for automations, for all these things that are going to help us get the breakthrough. But if we haven't done this work, and if we have this energy block, and if it is real, which it seems like it is real,
I'm in front of you. You
yeah,
know me before all of these results.
right, exactly. Then it seems like this is kind of the most important work that we have to do. So, what does this work include for you? Because obviously, with coaching and life coaching, spiritual coaching, there's lots of different elements.
Yeah.
We talk about mind, body, soul.
Yeah.
We talk about energy. You talk a lot about the combination of all of that, how all of that works together. Can you kind of walk us through your framework, your process, your understanding of how we can combine these different practices and understand how to align mind, body, soul?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, with me really wanting to understand everything that's going on, because you mentioned you're very logical. I'm not as logical, but I have that side of me also that's like, how does that really work? So I have to find a way to like really marry these two, the mysterious or the woo-woo side of it versus the scientific side of it. So that's why I dove into neuroscience, epigenetics, like all of these things, and then the energetic side of it, so that I can marry all of them, and that the conscious mind, the subconscious mind can both understand what really is happening. And so with my work and the way it is so there's energetic clearing, ancestral healing. So that's the energetic side of it. We work into subconscious rewiring or reprogramming. You all know about affirmations. There's affirmations. There's all of the things. There's NLP. I'm also certified with NLP. I have gazillion of certifications. Talk about wanting to really know how this thing works. Yeah, I have all of those to make sure, because I want to know how. Yes, I'm a powerful healer, I was told. But now I already know and I embrace that now. But before, I'm like, really? How does that really work? How can I tell people, okay, I'm getting the results for myself, but how can I tell people, right?
Mm.
So after the energetic side of it, we take care of the subconscious mind. The very first thing that has to be taken care of is the energy, because everything starts at the energetic level. You mentioned, Norbert, that you're coming out of colds. Your colds, before it happens physically, it started at the energetic level. You didn't take care of the energetic level, so it showed up on the physical. That's the only way we're going to release that physically. And so after that, we're going to work about the manifesting mastery. We heard a lot about manifesting over the in the last few years, especially. And I actually started just playing around with manifesting, but for me, ever since I was a kid, I was always manifesting. I say I want this, it happens. Being here in Canada is a manifestation,
Mm.
because for someone who is poor in the Philippines, there's no way you can come here in Canada if you don't know anyone. Being able to go to Italy, to Cyprus, to Taiwan, if you don't have money, you can't go to any of those places. So manifesting is something that is natural for me, but I never thought that it's called manifestation. I thought we're supposed to be able to do that, all of us. And then I would do, I would teach people the practical steps or strategies on how you can do this on your own. You have to have something that you can take action on your own, because I'm the one that's doing the energy healing. But unless you are a healer and you are curious or you want to learn to be a healer, then that's a different route. But a lot of my clients are not into that. Like, oh, just heal me. I'll do my own thing. So you'll get practical steps on what to do, and that's for the conscious mind. It's like, I need some steps, and with all of these things, I also ended up going into astrology and human design and personality, all of these personality things that we do, the wealth dynamics, the enneagram, and all of that stuff. So I combine, I'd say, 20 years of knowledge about all of these things and certifications and whatnot in my work.
Wow. Now, something that has always been really fascinating for me is the power of intuition and trust and your
Mhm.
connection to a higher power,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you believe. And
Yeah.
honestly, from the tens of thousands of coaches and people that I've spoken to, I honestly, my belief is it doesn't matter what you believe, it doesn't matter what you call it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Because whether it's angel talking about guardian angels or you talking about whatever words you want to use the words you want to use. The words don't really matter because we're all talking about the same thing
Yeah.
in essence, because it works. It works for angel, it works for other people that I've seen throughout my life. There's an element that I've had that's been a part of me, and it's this. I know that I have this connection to a higher power because when I speak on stage, and I haven't spoken on stage in a while now, but whenever I speak on stage, I never prepare for my talks. And I can get up on stage and speak for an hour or two. I used to run these masterminds where I would coach for 10 days, eight days out of the 10. And I could hold an audience for that length of time. And all it was, honestly, when people ask me like, how do you do it? How do you speak on stage? All that kind of stuff. For me, there's an element of trust
Mm.
and intuition, knowing that if I'm simply connected, I'll know exactly what I need to say. And it happens in my coaching sessions too. It's happened so many times for me where I just get an intuitive hit. And I don't consider myself a healer or spiritual woo woo at all. But so many times when I'm coaching with a client, there's something that comes to me and I don't know where it came from. And it allows me to guide the client in the right direction and help them gain clarity.
Yeah.
How important do you think this connection to intuition and this trust of that connection is for coaches that are out there doing the work? Because it's not all certifications and
Yeah.
processes and
Yeah.
frameworks.
Yeah.
Like there's a magical human element here. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, I say it is the most important. I'd say it's the critical part that is missing from everyone. When you're I'm fortunate enough that I grew up with my mom saying your intuition is your best ally. Your intuition is never going to sway you to anything that's bad. And every time I don't listen to my intuition, it's chaos. And there were a few times that I didn't. And like what you said, I was the same in my coaching sessions, in everything that I do for clients. You call it intuitive hit, we call it downloads.
Yeah.
And with what I do also, I channel. When I sit down in my chair before the calls, I will connect to my higher self and to the higher power, divine source, divine power, whoever you wanna address it to. And I would ask for guidance. Show me how can I best guide the client today for their best and highest good, because it's not for me. I am a vessel, I am a channel, I am just a messenger. I never prepared anything. Whatever comes through is what they needed at the time. And it's always ends up with clients saying, how the heck did you know it's what I needed today?
Yeah.
So it's the crying and the laughing and everything in our calls. So it is the most critical part that you have to have. We all have that intuition, but it gets screwed up by the beliefs that we acquired, by the trauma that we've been through, how you grew up, and how you were raised. All of that affects how you trust your intuition or not. The book, The Biology of Belief,
Mm.
is amazing book to read about beliefs. But in terms of intuition, it's just really going within, really trusting yourself. But how can you trust yourself if you've been betrayed so many times? And if you've seen that your family, your parents have been betrayed by their own families, right? So all of these things
Mhm.
is screwed up, that ability to trust our intuition in a way. There are people who are lucky, like what you said, Norbert, or we say lucky or fortunate, like us, who has that innate connection to the intuition. The good thing is, if you feel like you're disconnected from your intuition, it's easy to get reconnected to it. Like I teach that also. That's one of my programs that I teach my clients also, because they would always say, well, I don't think I'm connected to it. I find it hard to connect. I don't think I can hear anything. We are all born psychics. Some are highly psychics and they're well aware of it, but we all are psychics. Let's just face it and let's just put it out there. You can call it any other way you want, but that's what it is. You can hear there's that ability that you just know,
Hmm.
or you hear, a high pitch ringing in your ear, and it's like, do I have tinnitus? Like, no, it's not. It's probably the higher power that's telling you, stop what you're doing. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Your soul has been telling you what you're supposed to do. There's just all of this in clairvoyance, or clear seeing. You can see, like, that's the vision, premonition or precognition, just all of these things. But all boils down to, let's just simplify it, intuition.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, and I think we've all had personal experiences to some extent, to some level, where we've had some kind of intuition where we just knew something,
Yeah.
right? We've all experienced that. In times of stress, challenge, conflict, etc., when we're going through a period of difficulty and we're trying to figure out the answers, we're trying to figure out our path, we're
Mhm.
trying to figure out and make the right decisions, it can sometimes be really hard to listen to our intuition. It can be really confusing. It can be really noisy.
Yeah.
Maybe just share with us a little bit of insight, a little guidance here. How do we tap into true intuition? How do we decipher all the noise that's going on in our head from really the true guidance so that we can make decisions to our highest potential, to our highest good?
The easiest and fastest way I find that really works for my clients, and something that I do a lot also, is you need to make sure that you're grounded. And when you're in Canada, that's winter, it's all snow everywhere. How do you stand bare feet in the ground? How do you go outside and spend time in nature, especially for someone like me who doesn't really like snow? So inside the house, you can still do that. Walk bare feet in your house, or sit in the chair or in the floor. Make sure that your feet are bare and it's planted firmly in the ground. Go in the basement if you have a basement, because then that's really dirt underneath that. Because if you're in the second level, there's such a big gap. It doesn't matter, right? And it's quieting your mind. So going to a place where you can quiet your mind. Can we really quiet our mind? That is the thing that I really struggled with in the beginning. Someone said quiet your mind. I'm like, we were the first time of my encounter with meditation. 30 minutes went past and everybody's like, oh, that's so good. What do you mean so good? My mind is like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right?
Yeah.
That's all that it ran in my head. And then I asked the facilitator, it's like, what am I supposed to do? It's my first time. And she's like, just quiet your mind. I'm like, how the heck do you do that? And so breathing is the most powerful tool that you have to really be able to not really quiet your mind, but to slow down the activity of your brain so that it
Mm.
becomes quiet in a way where the monkey mind is not saying anything anymore. When the monkey mind keeps saying, well, hey, you have to do your groceries, you have to do this thing, wait, you have that appointment tomorrow for your kid in school, you have all of these things, monkey mind, right? Just say thank you for reminding me. You sit down. The first thing, really, if you're not a meditator, is sit down and practice taking deep breaths. Close your eyes, try disconnect from everything around you. No phone. Put your phone away somewhere else. No TV, nothing. Just close your eyes and take deep breaths. Focus on your breathing, because we don't really do that, do we?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I don't have time for that, Angel. My clients would say that. Like, come on, three deep breaths. You don't have time for it. Like, it's I'm just too busy. Yeah, that's why you're going to pass out with overwhelm, right?
What is that resistance, Angel? Because I can relate to that. I understand that. I work with a friend who's a spiritual healer in his own way,
Mhm.
and he's always working with me because I'm such a logical person. I'm constantly in my brain, and I can see that with clients as well. What, and especially in our society today with social media and phones, and everything's so busy and so much chaos and crisis going on in the world, it's like everything is working against us to
Mhm.
slow down and stop and really reconnect with ourselves. It almost feels like a battle for our own sanity.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I always tell my husband and my clients. Growing up in the Philippines, where technology wasn't really something that, well, being in the province. Let's me rephrase that, because if you're in Manila, It's
Yeah.
Wi-Fi towers everywhere also. So no, if you're in the province, especially, I always go to the mountains in my grandmother's house and her coffee farm. Being in nature really helps you um, quiet your mind.
Yeah.
Spending time with nature. The resistance is because there's just too many distraction that we have. There's TV, there's
Distractions.
phone, there's all of the things, and it's like if I slow down, my world will collapse. Again,
Yeah.
it's that nervous system regulation, right? The fight or flight with what's happening around the world right now. We are all connected
Mm,
because we are all energy. Everything that's happening around the world, we are affected by it, whether you watch the news or not. If you're watching the news, it's even more worse for you.
mm.
And we have empaths, and I'm one of those also. So you feel all of that stuff. You ever notice if you go to Costco or IKEA or Walmart, wherever, you feel good before going there. When you go back home, like, oh my God, what the heck happened to me? I'm not feeling well.
I always said that about shopping. Like if I ever go shopping to the mall, I'm exhausted afterwards. If I
You
admit to that.
absorb all of the energies of the people in there. Can you imagine? There's people there that's going through desperation, someone grieving, someone angry, someone get betrayed, someone just the anxiety or panic attacks, just all of that energy coming at you.
Mm,
There's one technique that I like to teach people that I learned also in the past is, you know how you zip your jacket up.
mhm.
So you put your hand like that and just put it towards your crotch area and bring it up. You're zipping it up all the way up to the back of your neck. Bring it back down. You're opening it again. And then zip it up again. You're going to do it 3 times. You're going to zip your energy. You zip your energy, you're protected. One of the things that you can test this is with muscle testing or kinesiology.
Mhm.
Before zipping your energy, you'll notice that your energy is weak. But after zipping it up, it's stronger. I
That's
do that
phenomenal.
with the kids. My clients would do it to their kids, and they're like, "Whoa, what did you do?"
It's fascinating. I'm so fascinated by the magic of life on this in this realm, right? Okay, let's switch a little bit and let's talk a little bit about marketing because I'm sure some of the coaches here want to hear a little bit about your marketing because Angel, we're talking about $90,000 in 2 weeks. We're
Hmm.
talking about you just had like a 40, $50,000 month. One of your coaching programs is $30,000. You're a spiritual healer. There's a lot of stories out there that coaches tell themselves that they don't think that you can charge this kind of money for
Yeah.
spiritual healing, for life coaching, etc. You're proof of the opposite of that. But what are you doing to get these clients, Angel? You don't have a large social media following. You don't do paid traffic. You're not making reels. You're not dancing on TikTok. You're not doing any of the funnels and the things that the gurus are saying you need to have, Angel. How are you getting these clients?
It goes back to what we're talking about, intuition and energy. Connecting with your energy, making sure that I am in alignment with everything that I do, everything that I think, and everything that I would put out there. Your energy speaks before you open your mouth. Everything that you do, the post that you're typing, you're putting together your funnel, the reels that you're going to do your video, everything, even right now with this podcast, your and our energies is speaking before it's speaking before my mouth
Mm,
opens. The state of your energy is the one that your ideal client is going to pick up, not what you said, not what you posted. So if you sit down and say, I must put a content out today because digital mentors just sent an email today that we should do something different, and go do it out there. Meanwhile, I feel like, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh my God, I'm so tired today. Okay, let me force myself and just sit down and let me do that. Where's my phone? Let me do it on my phone and then post it. What do you think is the state of energy that was in that post that you posted? Is that dragging? It's like, oh, I just want to sleep. The people that will come across that post be like, oh, I'm tired. Forget it. I'm not even gonna read that post. That's it. You want to call in soul aligned clients? Ask yourself, every single time. How are you feeling? And yes, I know it's impossible to be in high vibrations all the time because we are humans. And that's why the heartbeat goes like that, right? If it's just the same like that, or you're always up, I don't know what's going to happen, right? It's ebb and flow. But what can you do to shift your energy? There's so many ways to shift your energy. It's really energetic alignment, and that's the most important component of what I do, of my work, and what I do for myself, for my clients. Once they learned all of this, it's like, oh, I show up when I feel aligned for my clients. I write an email once a month with my mailing list, and I get sales from that. Why? Because my energy speaks to them and they know I'm not like all the other marketers out there. So, in a way, I stand out already because of what I'm doing. I respect my energy. I listen to my intuition. I always connect to my higher self. I always connect to that higher power. What am I here to do today? If I'm meant to impact someone's life today, what is it that I'm meant to do today? If I'm feeling like I'm dragging myself, forget it. Like, let me go outside and force myself to step in the snow to shift my energy, or just do something that will give me pleasure at that time instead of forcing myself to sit down and push content. To this day, I have clients that would reach out and said, or even strangers would say, Angel, thank you so much for your video because you just saved my life. I was about to commit suicide. But after watching your video, I just realized that what I went through is nothing with what you went through. I have a video in Facebook and in YouTube where I shared how I was suicidal before. Like, I was severely depressed and just all of these things, and how I grew up in poverty in the Philippines and abusive environment and whatnot. And it calls these people in who needs to see that, to realize that their lives is not as worse as they think it was. So if you posted content out there, was there an impact? Was there any intention that you put out? Or was the only intention was your desperation to make money? Because that desperation to make money, you'll attract people who are also desperate to make money, but then to them, but I can't afford it. But then turn around and go shopping and they just bought something for $1,000. Well, how the heck can you not afford to book a healing session? Right?
Mm.
Energetic alignment. And knowing who you are, who you truly are, operating from your truth, not the truth based on what you grew up with, not the truth based on the beliefs that you've made and acquired, the truth based on the higher power, what your intuition has been telling you, or what we like to say, what your soul has been whispering to you all these years. That's it. Sounds woo woo. That's what all my clients have said.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't, my logical brain wants to argue with you, but I can't argue with you because I've seen this happen time and time again, and not just with your business, obviously, but I've seen the proof of this evidenced over and over and over and over and over again. And I love, this is why I think that your story and your case study is so important because so we're scrambling to like find the solution. We're scrambling to find the marketing solution, the marketing funnel, right? You're one funnel away, or whatever the new hack or the new thing is, right? And I laugh at it all because it's all the same stuff. I've been doing this for 18 years. And the new stuff that I see the young guys, promoting now as this new thing, it's like, oh yeah, we were doing that back in 2007. It's not new. And then you're taking it even to a deeper level. You're saying none of your marketing gimmicks matter at all if your energy isn't aligned
Yeah.
because you breaking all the rules and you're still making the sales and you're still bringing in the right clients, high paying clients, and you're building for yourself a business that's really aligned with the kind of life that you want to live as well. And so we talk so much, we talk so much in this space, in the entrepreneurial space. Obviously personal growth is huge,
Yeah.
and we talk a lot about mindset, right? And we'll always say, 90% of the work is in between these 2 years, right? 80% is mindset and 20% is the work. But really, what you're saying is it's beyond mindset. Like, mindset is one part of it, but you can think the right thoughts and you can affirm the right things. But if you're not energetically aligned, even the mindset isn't going to work for you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember doing all the affirmations I could when I first got introduced to Napoleon Hill in 2001. Like
Mm.
nothing's happening. What the heck? Because my mind is every time you say, I am rich. No, you're not.
Your mind is saying, no, you're not. Yeah,
I am a
exactly.
money magnet. No, you're not. So it's like it's like bullshit in a way, because our subconscious mind is the best security guard there is.
Right.
Our security guard, our subconscious mind protects us. So anything that is not programmed in the subconscious is dangerous. The problem though is your subconscious doesn't follow you unless you take care of the energetic part of it. And so it's like it's not just mindset, it's energetic part of it. There's also emotional part of it, and then the physical body, the nervous system. That's what we were forgetting about, the nervous system. And so where does the trauma lives? The trauma is in the emotional body, it's in the physical body, it's in the mental body, in the mind also. But where does what was the one that gives us muscle memory? Physical body, right? That's
Physical.
why
Yeah.
we can drive with all of the things going on. There are kids
You don't
screaming
have
in
to
the
think about
background,
it. Yeah.
right? That's what trauma does to us. It's muscle memory. So when people say every time you think about your past, you're recreating from your past, you're creating your future from your past. But the thing is, that's the blueprint that your physical body has. So how do you change that?
Mm.
How can you show your nervous system that it is safe now, that there really is no tiger or lion that's going to attack you? So there's no sense to fire up that fight or flight mode or that freeze or fawn, right? Fawn is people pleasing. And that's something that a lot of people, including me, has also people pleasing. And we don't think that that's a nervous system or a fight or flight or a survival mode response, right? It's a survival response when you're people pleasing. You people please because, well, if I don't, I might get beat up or I might not get food for dinner.
You might get kicked out. Yeah.
Exactly. Or you're not gonna fit in, right?
Yeah.
So this, like, taking care and really understanding where you are in terms of survival responses is also very important. So that's why not one thing is working. All of them has to be worked on: subconscious, energetic, emotional, physical, anything else in between. And so for me, having that ability to be able to see through a client is what makes my work, I guess, so powerful and so unique, because the people that comes to me and work with me, their soul and their intuition knows they're ready to be seen and to be heard. My
Mm.
energy is piercing. Ever since I was a kid, I was told it's scary to stare in my eyes. I'm like, what are you talking about? Even high school, university was the same thing. And my clients, when I do in person sessions, are like, I feel like you're going through my soul. I'm like, what are you talking about? But that's my energy. And in human design, I'm a projector. Projector has a piercing energy. So my energy only works one to one or a really small group of people. I can't
Mm.
handle big amounts of people. So that's why 10, 15 people or one to one is the best strategy for me. So that's one of the secrets also, I guess. It's not a secret, it's part of it. knowing knowing what your human design type
Yeah.
is helps a lot. It gives me the words that I need to use for my clients, although I don't need it because I can see what you need. And a lot of times, because I'm channeling and downloading, clients would come to me and say, Angel, the things that you said, it felt like you were my grandma when you were talking, or great grandma. Like, meaning the words that I was saying is not at the generation that we are in at this time. I was told that I was at least 5,000 years old as a soul. So I'm like, really? so, so all of this, if you consider all of them, put them all together, and if you're fortunate to find someone like me who can do all of these things all together, then you are going to fly.
That's exciting. So, on that note, let's talk a little bit about what you do and what you offer with your programs. And how can people get in connection with you? Because you are on social media, they can
Yeah.
find you on social media, and you actually have a free community. I guess that's where you do the majority of your work. And this is a really powerful thing to talk about. If we're going to talk about marketing, right?
Yeah.
Is I love the work that you do inside of the community because this is where people can really connect with you. And that's about connection. And
Yeah.
marketing is about connection.
Yeah.
It's about building trust and credibility and a relationship with somebody. That's really all sales is. And you're able to do that inside of this group. So, can you talk to us a little bit about, from a marketing perspective, to give the coaches out there an idea of what you do inside of the group, and then we'll talk about how they can check out the group and come inside of it as well. How do you leverage that group to find your ideal perfect clients?
Yeah. So for me, because I know now that my throat, I have a defined throat center in human design. So when your throat is defined in human design, your voice is powerful. So written post is not as power. It doesn't have the same impact as when I'm talking or when I'm doing videos or podcasts. And I that's what I've learned even before I know human design. I noticed ever since 2016 up until 2020 that when I speak, it draw people in that I'm meant to work with. I
Mm,
have clients who said they were watching my lives and they're like, how does she know all the things she's talking about? Like, do you have notes? I'm like, no, I don't. Do you plan for it? Like, no. I sat there, turned my camera on, and it's like, okay, guys, what am I meant to deliver today? And so all of my Facebook lives, like what you were saying, it's true intuition,
mm,
being connected. What is that download that I needed to share to people that day? It's That's what works for me. So this free community, that's where I got all of my paying clients. It I People goes there and they get to work with me for free before they decide I want to go deeper. I'm ready for something deep. So you get to experience how powerful my work is without me telling you that my work is powerful, but with you experiencing the power of the work. So basically, my work is the one that's selling it to you. I don't have to tell you. I don't have a website. I don't have funnels. I don't have sales pages until this year with digital mentors because I just sit down and I talk. That's what I do. When I post, I see the difference. Like my post will get engagement, not as much. But when I do videos, I have people messaging me. They might not be commenting in social media, but I have messages in Facebook or emails saying that what you said that day hit me. It woke me up. Thank you for the message. And then it started from there. They will follow me and then join the free group. And the free group is also my way of giving back to the community, because I realized that, wow, from a family, like being born in poverty, and my ancestors, yes, they're powerful healers, but they're dirt poor. Now I was shown and I was told that I'm here to break that dynamic. And so I'm able to break that dynamic for my family, for my lineage. So my kids will never be going through that stuff anymore financially. And I can see them being like having the abilities I have also. So the free community is my way of giving back. You join my free community, you get free healing sessions, you get free coaching in there. You get all the things that I would do for my clients, except they're like teasers, right? I can only do like 30 minutes or something. I would do moon ceremonies there, and the moon ceremonies are a favorite because people manifest crazy things with it. Why? Because the moon ceremonies that I do also includes healing and activation. So that's why I have a client who, she said her insurance kept on denying her application for surgery to be covered. Insurance kept on saying that that's not covered. First time that she was referred to my free group, and she joined that moon ceremony, but she doesn't believe in any of that stuff. But she's like, what the heck? And at that point, when I said, okay, write in your check what you want to cash in from the universe during this new moon. And she's like, well, I'm writing into that check that the insurance pays off for my surgery. Within 2 weeks, the insurance called her and said, we're covering everything and there's extra for you. And she's like, what the? That never happened to me. She said. And this person, she's like 70 years old at that time. So yeah, my aligned wealthy entrepreneurs free community, it's a trauma informed, safe space for you to be supported, for you to show up. When you're ready to be seen and heard, you will be seen and heard in there. And it's lonely to be in this business online because your family don't even understand what you're doing. Like, what are you even doing online? Well, these days it's different because you do these silly things and people will send you stars, and I guess it converts to money, right? But is that really your soul's purpose? I don't think so.
Yeah. So again, the name of the Facebook group, and we're going to have links in the show notes and in the description as well to your group. But what's the name of the group if they search it on Facebook?
it's it's not in Facebook. It's actually, the
Oh,
community
that's
is
right.
outside Facebook because it is in the digital mentors platform, which I love so much because you don't have to deal with the crazy stuff in Facebook anymore. Aligned,
No
wealthy entrepreneurs.
distractions.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
distractions,
No
right?
distractions. And
Yeah.
I just love the ability to be able to organize everything there. And it's easy to find for members. So aligned, wealthy entrepreneurs. That's the
Perfect.
name of the group.
Perfect. Awesome. Angel, this has been fantastic. I'm definitely going to be bringing you back on in a few months to have a deeper conversation and keep going on these topics because this is really also fascinating and really interesting. I'm really interested to hear the comments and the feedback on this interview and kind of dig deeper into the conversation, seeing the questions that people have for you as well. And you know what? I think I need to jump into that group as well. I want to see some of the stuff that you're doing as well. I'd really appreciate just seeing that. So, Angel, really incredible, so inspirational. I hope to all of the listeners out there, inspirational to see what you've been able to accomplish, but also the journey that you've gone through and understanding that everyone has their own journey.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to go through years of struggle and challenge and bankruptcy
Yeah.
to get to the point where you finally had that realization and you could get over all of that shame and that guilt and that ancestral trauma to be able to be seen and to be heard. So, kind of final last words for everybody listening. For those people that may be going through some challenges right now, or they're struggling and being challenged to grow their business or to create the results that they want, they're frustrated. What's some words of advice that you could give them?
First of all, and I love saying this all the time, you are always loved and supported by the universe, or whatever you call it, the higher power, divine power, God, angels. You are always loved and supported by the universe. We have to learn to trust that. And it doesn't matter what you're going through, you have to learn to ask for help. And when you ask for help, remember to receive that. Because a lot of us will ask for help, but then the help comes not in the form we're expecting it to. We don't open the door. The universe doesn't deliver your order in the way you want it to. The universe delivers it in a way that your soul is going to grow in a much bigger way. So have that open mind and allow yourself to be supported because you are worthy and deserving of being supported. Being alone is not a thing. Doing things on your own is not a thing. But trust me, I've been there. I was told I should be able to fend for myself. Not true. Yes, I can fend for myself. But the thing is, we crave for sisterhood, for community, for support. If you didn't have that growing up, know that you are worthy of it. Just reach out. If you are going through really tough times, especially mental illness and whatnot, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to listen. That's one of my gifts, listening. So know that you're not alone.
That's beautiful, Angel. Thank you so much. This has been a really, really great conversation. Really appreciated you being on here, and it's been incredible to watch your journey. It really has. From when we first met way back in 2011 or so, to now having you inside of our community as well. It's a real blessing to have you there. So we really appreciate you, and again, congratulations on all your success. And I'm just excited to see what you create in the years to come, Angel. This is super exciting. So like I said, listeners, we're going to have the links, show notes, links to her group as well in the description and in the show notes. So be sure that you check that out and join her group. If you're interested at all in the work that Angel does, the way to get access to her is through that free community. So make sure you click that link and join that group. And if you are a coach, consultant, trainer, or expert, and you are looking for clarity in your marketing and client acquisition strategy so you can enroll more clients, then join us for that next Digital Mentors Compass workshop. It's a free interactive workshop. We're going to help you get crystal clear on your messaging and your offer so that you know what to say to attract your ideal clients. And you can register for free at compassworkshop.com. If you enjoyed this episode, we're a growing podcast, brand new podcast, so we need your help. Please share it with your network, with your audiences, with anyone that you think could benefit from this message here that Angel shared today. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a review so you don't miss our episodes. This has been a conversation between two coaches.